Hello everyone, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here. Guys, this morning I've been getting the biggest love is in the air vibes. So anyway, then I was really guided to these cards, some of which I really rarely use. So I'm very excited to just dive in and see what's going on here. It's pretty chilly here in Florida today. But it's beautiful. Big blue sky. All right, here we go. For Pisces, please, Spirit, please show me what Pisces needs to know. What does Pisces need to know right now? Yes, passion, flying out face up. Okay, Pisces, what is going on? Compassion, passion, peace, community. Oh, commitment. Wow, I was getting community from that. Some of you may be meeting someone through someone, or through, if you are belonging to a club, or are, I'm getting coffee and books vibes from this community card, but that's not going to be for everyone. But it's just it's telling me, this commitment card. Did I say community again? It's just giving me this vibe of, honey bucket. No. You have all these toys. You have all these toys. You chew on the toys. It's giving me this energy of people being brought together, or even a sense of I feel in recent times we have gotten sort of polarized to where it's I see you over there doing that and I don't talk to you, or I don't interact with you quite as much. Maybe people used to be a bit friendlier. It's showing me this return of warmth in especially in certain spaces, because it's also giving me this craving connection kind of energy. So it's if you were going to the library for the last 2 years or something, and you didn't ever meet anyone or talk to anyone, you might find that people are starting to talk to you, or starting to become friendly with you, or starting to ask you about the books you're reading, or strike up a conversation with you, or you're feeling much more of a sense of belonging to a community in spaces that you have possibly been going, or some of you are seeking connection through community, and maybe going into these spaces in your community, churches, libraries, coffee shops. Guys, seriously, you guys are bored. You're bored. Here. You're bored and you're looking for trouble. I know this behavior. Yes, I know all about this behavior. Go on. Sorry, my little best friend companions over here. My community is a bit unruly this morning. But there's just this sense of either you're craving compassion, or you're craving community, or you are gaining a sense of community. And you may find a connection, deep level connection, passionate connection in these spaces. But it's there's some kind of energy of welcoming, shared compassion. You may I keep getting churches, libraries, and coffee shops. So those are spaces where I think typically more compassionate people tend to be. It depends on where you're at. I've been in some coffee shops where it's just a really cool, artsy kind of community type vibe. And I've been in coffee shops where it's you better not take too long getting your card out of your purse to pay, because you're annoying everyone behind you in line. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, I don't know, but I feel like you're going to gravitate toward the warmer, maybe artsier even places. I'm also getting like vinyl records here. So I'm not sure totally what that's about, but I'm getting like meeting spaces. So it's like, you know, coming to this place of deep inner peace gives us a strength sometimes. You know, sometimes we're in the mode to really protect that peace, and sometimes the best way to protect that peace is to sort of keep to ourselves, especially if we've recently been through something. A lot of times it's best to just sort of hold space for yourself and kind of keep your energy self-contained. But I feel this sense of coming out of that type of energy and into more of this, you know, desire to connect, more like shared experience, more like seeking connection. I don't know. And finding, this can be things that you are passionate about, hobbies that you're passionate about, you know, people who share some of your passions and kind of reignite it. You know, maybe you haven't picked up a paintbrush in 10 years and you go to the library and you're looking at art books and meet an artist who really inspires you to pick up your paintbrushes again. Like, there's just a lot of possibilities for what all this means. But at the end of it here, there's just this greater sense of community and potentially a love interest. And I have since this morning when I was meditating, gotten a heavy emphasis around Valentine's Day this year. For some of you, this may be the first Valentine's Day in a really long time that you've had someone that you're interested in to share it with. But with this knot, it is feeling like a compilation of experiences. So it's giving me like, yes, a deepening of a level of commitment, but it's also getting me these places where our paths cross, like where we have common interests or where we shared a moment that was important and special to both of us. Like, there's a feeling of reciprocity, or like even we're sort of weaving our lives together. It's more than just, oh, we'll grab a bite to eat and see how things go, and it's kind of like, I like you, you like me, but there isn't like depth. This is deep. And it's also, there's a big physical spark there. Okay, let's see. Let's keep going. It's crazy because all this came out when I was meditating as well. Not so much the library, coffee shop, church situation, but yeah, see? Okay. What is this? I think it is exactly what I'm saying. I feel really in alignment with it. So you have this forgiveness, and it's falling under this peace card. And, you know, a lot of really being able to come to a place of peace after we've been hurt or deceived or disappointed or traumatized in some way is to forgive that person, their humanity, you know, their wherever they are at with themselves, right? And to forgive ourselves for the times that we played small or let ourselves down or sold ourselves out for connection, for commitment, for attention, for validation, for, you know, whatever. We generally, when we do that, we end up really regretting it. We really end up learning a hard lesson and really feeling that for a long time, that suffering that lingers afterward as we beat ourselves up about it, right? So in order to really come to a place of peace, it requires us to let go, and part of the letting go process is forgiving. And so you may have been through a period of time where you just had to go work through that process of forgiving yourself, forgiving others. But that that actually just frees you up to really fully experience love, to give love and to receive love. When you can love yourself enough to forgive yourself, and you can love another enough to forgive them, then you are really on the precipice of unconditional love. Foxy and Honey, come on, guys, you gotta chillax. So let's keep going. Lie down. Go lie down. Just take a little snooze-a-paloose. Just take a little snooze. You guys always sleep during my readings. Just relax and lay down. You're so cute. All right, here we go. For Pisces, please, Spirit. For Pisces. What does Pisces need to know right now? What does Pisces need to know? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Oh, and so then the card on the bottom of the deck is like attracts like. And it's this energy of like people who have a sense of compassion. People who have a sense of yeah, wow. People who have a you know, if you put yourself, what is compassion, right? It is putting yourself in someone else's shoes and, you know, trying to understand in a feeling way, right? What they're going through or what they have been through or what's happening with them, right? And when you are someone that does that and you're hanging out with people who do that, we tend to hurt each other a lot less because we are concerned with the other's feelings and and we are understanding that the other person is going through whatever that person is going through. So we manage our expectations. We don't put a lot of like, you need to be perfect. You should have done it like this. You should have said this. You should have showed up for me here. The right thing to do is this. You're more like, oh, let me understand where you're coming from. You know what I mean? Let me try, you know. So when you get like attracting like in a space like that there is a real potential for depth and for, you know, deeper level commitments and deeper level understanding of the other. And, you know, Pisces, a lot of times I notice that you guys are in relationships where you're doing that, but you're not receiving that. And first of all, that creates an imbalance that doesn't really work. But second of all, it creates this space where because you're not ever receiving what you're giving, you can sort of, one, think that it doesn't exist, that no one else is capable of it. And, or you can feel like maybe you're not worthy of it, or you are not ever going to find it or have it. And those ideas, those beliefs that exist in our subconscious are really hard to work around. You know, we can't hold that belief and then go out and find it for ourselves. So it sort of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And I can see here you have lies, history, and third party. These three cards came out together. And so there, you could have a history of people being deceptive to you. However that is, they could have been, you know, engaging you in third party situations. They could have been, you know, over promising and under delivering. They could have, you know, really just broken your heart, got your hopes up. You may have invested a lot in other people. You may have given them the best of what you have to offer, your heart, your soul, your compassion, your understanding, your empathy, all of those things. And they may have just treated it recklessly. I mean, I'm sure they regret it because you don't come across people like you all the time. And man, you know, usually the people that trash it are people that don't believe they deserve it or are incapable of reciprocating. And instead of admitting or acknowledging that or doing the work that it would take to step up and to be able to return that, they will trash it instead, and then blame you for it. Because they are people that can't or don't want to or are unwilling to face themselves, right? But it does come along, you know, what you are seeking is seeking you as well. You're probably going to meet someone who has had similar experiences, who has been around the block, who has been hurt, sometimes maybe even quote unquote more hurt than you. You know what I mean? Like, not that life is a comparison or that hurts are, you know, comparable in the first place, but in some ways I just get this sense that you're gonna look at them and be like, oh man, that sucks really bad. You know, maybe they were married or something and the person cheated on them, and you had just been dating for a couple of months and your person cheated on you, you know, like maybe I don't know, but it's giving me this energy of like, in your own mind you may look at what they have suffered, and possibly even it is a statement of your own compassion and your own empathy, that you can feel what they felt so much that you can feel it as in maybe that was worse than what I went through. Did you see what I'm saying? Then you have this like yearning and this secret admirer energy. And, you know, it's giving me this vibe of, you know, knowing what you really want. And with secret admirer, it's actually giving me sort of wanting what you can't have. And I don't normally get this feeling from this card, and so it probably doesn't apply to everyone, but there is this little bit of a feeling of kind of, you know, falling for people who are either emotionally unavailable or just plain unavailable. Maybe they're married, maybe they're this, maybe they're that, I don't know. But it's sort of something that you have to keep to yourself. This is also giving me the vibe of kind of like relationships where you can't be loud and proud about it, where you can't like post it on your social media, or you have to sort of fly under the radar. So I don't know what that's all about, but it's kind of just like it's giving it to me like a phase where it just feels so far away, like you're so far away from having what you really want, or you kind of in your head are selling yourself the idea that something that is kind of unavailable in some way will change or will become available, or you know what I mean, and kind of sticking with that for a long time, but just not really being happy, you know, feeling kind of lonely and drained and whatever. I do feel like this was an important time for you. I do feel like there was a lot of healing and processing that was going on here, even though there is like this characteristic of that time that is sort of maybe a little bit overshadowed initially by like wanting something that you can't have. But I think in retrospect, as time passes, you'll review this period of time as a time where you were processing and deep healing. Then you have this patience energy, and this patience energy is giving me this vibe of like being ready to open up, you know, starting to say yes to life, starting to really recognize that like, oh wow, something has shifted, something has changed within me. I am actually really ready for this now. It doesn't scare me. It doesn't give me the heebie-jeebies. It doesn't, there's some kind of physical reaction, it feels like, for some of you that happened whenever you thought about connecting with another person, where it's giving me the stomach, where it's like it sort of made you nauseous, or it sort of made you nervous or something. And now it's like, when I think about it, it doesn't make me feel that way. Like I'm realizing that I'm really ready to open up to this. For some of you, you may have actually found someone who, you know, maybe they have proven themselves trustworthy. Maybe they have been very consistent. Maybe they have kind of created some type of safe space for you to open up into love in that situation already. And this is sort of more of a letting it unfold as it wants to unfold, not putting a lot of pressure on it, not putting a lot of expectation on it, but just sort of allowing it to sort of blossom on its own. This is a soulmate either coming in, or a soulmate that you are experiencing this with now. Let's dive into the tarot. know why I don't use these cards more. I absolutely love them. Okay, you have the Empress and the Devil. Very interesting energy with the Moon Child on the bottom of the deck. Wow. Holy major arcana, Pisces. You know, this is like, wow, this is really rewarding energy, I guess is kind of like how I want to say it. The Ten of Swords clarifying the Empress. You know, you've been through a really difficult cycle, and a lot of the difficulty actually came from, well, with the Ten of Swords, you could have been backstabbed, you could have been deceived, you could have been heartbroken, and you could have had people be very critical and very, like, with their words and their language, cruel to you. But there is also an element to this of being cruel to yourself with your words, you know, with kind of beating yourself up, possibly overthinking, possibly draining yourself, processing, trying to figure something out, sort of being confused and trying to think your way through it instead of kind of trying to meditate or like get away from it and kind of let the answers come to you. It's sort of like I was trying to process it. It's giving me the sense of like force it, where it was something that needed to just sort of unfold in its own way to provide clarity. There is this super cerebral energy that is like just trying to figure it out, trying to label it, trying to make sense of it, trying to bring it out of a place of confusion and into something that felt manageable. And it's kind of just giving me, it was always going to take as long as it was always going to take. There wasn't a better way to process it. There wasn't a, see, it's kind of going back to that yearning and that secret admirer energy where I was talking about how it might be kind of overshadowed by like wanting something you can't have, but really in disguise, it was just a period of healing and processing. It really didn't have a lot to do with that, other than maybe that was bringing things up to the surface for them to be healed and released. Do you see what I'm saying? This is the same thing. This is very much that energy of like, not everything needs a label. Not everything needs to fit into a box or to make perfect sense. Sometimes we just have to like forgive it, accept it, come to a place of peace with it, and let it go. But that cycle is really preparing you, or really was it in some ways the foundation for a super creative, productive, abundant time in your life that you're entering into right now. And this is like with the Empress, nothing is impossible for the Empress. And it's kind of like sometimes you kind of have to do, I'm going to say quote unquote, the wrong thing. Even though I don't call this the wrong thing, to sort of say, I'm not going to do that again. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes like you have to put your hand on the hot coal to realize, oh, that's why people don't put their hands on hot coals. It burns, it hurts. I'm never doing that again. You know, and so this cycle taught you a lot about it. It took you to places that you'll never go again. You won't let yourself. You won't think about it. You won't. How do I even want to say? You'll shut things down very quickly. You won't even entertain the idea of certain things that you would have before that really turned out to be very painful cycles for you. Really hard learning lessons. You have the Devil clarified by Justice and the Fool card. So you have a new beginning coming in that is balancing out this energy of temptation or seduction, something that looked good but really wasn't, you know, that energy of not all that glitters is gold, right? It's like the devil kind of lures you in by looking really attractive, smelling really good, and, you know, saying all the right things. But then when you get in there, it's a hot mess that takes you to this place, that like super confused, deceived, backstab, you know, why me kind of energy. But with all things in the universe, everything has to balance out. Everything has to level out. You're not always going to get a bad experience. You're not always going to get someone who's not ready or who looks good but then isn't good underneath. You know what I'm saying? Like you will eventually like it just keeps giving me, to all things there is balance. So for all the rough stuff you've been through, there is an equal and an opposite good thing out there for you. And the Fool is just telling me you're ready for it. The Fool is telling me you're prepared for it, and everything has been leading you to this point. But you're not taking all of it with you. You're not taking all the heaviness of the past with you. You have left it behind. You have let it go, and you are prepared to really go for what you feel super drawn to now. You are ready to really open up and give in a way that has been really hard for you before, or that you haven't really ever been able to do before. And for some of you, that's because you never had a partner that you felt safe enough to ever go that way with before. And for others of you, past suffering sort of built scar tissue that made it really, really hard for you to trust and open up, even when you felt like you had the opportunity. You've done a lot of soul searching. With the Moonchild and the Hermit as your bottom of the deck cards here, you haven't lost your essence through all of this. You are still you, and you are still quirky, and you are still creative and intuitive and connected, and it's giving me black cat energy. Like you are still a mystery to the people around you. You're still very ethereal. You still possess these kind of elusive traits that make you super interesting, and kind of draw people into like wanting to get to know you. With the Hermit, it's like all that's ever happened is you've gotten to know yourself better, and you've gotten to get more in touch with what you want. You know, as a mutable water sign, you can be really convinced by especially stronger, more fixed or charismatic personalities that like, oh, this would be so fun if we did this. And it's like nothing you ever thought about doing, but you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that would be so fun. I can go along with that. Instead of prioritizing like, this is what I want to go this way. I want to do this. And so you're sort of emerging from this with a deep sense of yourself and a deep sense of understanding of what you want. And it's not to say that you're going to be unwilling to do what other people want, but you are going to make sure that your voice is also heard here. There is, you know, with the Devil, sometimes a codependent message, and I think that is sort of what I'm keying up on here. These are really individuated signs, the Moonchild and the Hermit. And so it's like you have kind of separated yourself from the group or from something in or a past identity of yourself even, or a past way of doing things even, to really get this strong sense of who you are and what you want and what you're about. And also, there is even this energy of like a willingness to stay single or to be single. Yeah, rather than like entertain something again that kind of makes you play small or makes you lose sight of yourself. What do you have for Pisces, please, Spirit? For Pisces. I feel like some of you do have a secret admirer. I feel like some of you have people or a person who are actually pretty focused on you. There may even be a sense of competition around you. I feel like there are people in your energy or around you who are going back and forth about how to proceed. This King of Wands energy, you have the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Wands with this. So it's giving me the sense of like, I'm focused on you, Pisces, but I'm also seeing that there are other people in your energy or there are other people around you. This could even be like competition for your time. If you're really busy or you have a very full life, someone may be thinking, man, I'm super attracted to this, but I don't want to be the last priority. The King of Wands, it's just giving me this vibe of someone who doesn't want to look stupid. You know, someone who doesn't want to like make a move or let it be known that that you are what they want and that they're coming for you when A, they don't have a chance, or B, it's going to put them in a situation that in some way diminishes them or is a strike to their pride or ego a little bit, where it's like, I don't want to have to compete with a lot of other people for your attention. I also don't want to have to compete with a lot of other stuff for your attention. Like, I don't want to look stupid. Like, I just keep getting that energy of like, I'm sitting here and I'm watching and I'm observing, and I know from what I'm watching and observing that this is something that I'm very interested in. I haven't taken action on it other than really paying attention and kind of coming to this place where I'm pretty confident that this is what I want, right? But I also want to make sure that I'm not going to look like a fool, or that I'm not going to fall flat on my face, or that I'm not going to have to sort of just pick myself up having gone through this. It could also be someone who is trying to figure out what's moving you and what you want and what you're looking for, and if you're looking for the same thing that they're looking for. And it feels like they keep going a little bit back and forth, like whether they think that you're on the same page or that they have a chance or not. Let me clarify. There's a decision for sure. Look at that. Okay. This can be someone too that is seeing that you are at the end of a cycle here, that you have completed a cycle, or that you are completing a cycle. They may want to make sure that you are done with that cycle before they start this. With the Four of Wands and the Seven of Cups, it's like this person really feels like that you might be their person, but there is this confusion. There is this like, and it's crazy because the Seven of Cups is a very Piscean energy. I think this is that Moonchild energy coming back out again, where you're hard to read, you're elusive, you're confusing, people aren't quite sure what to make of you. You march to the beat of your own drum. You're a free spirit. you don't behave the way other people behave. It's this black cat energy. And it feels like it's a super big turn on to this person. Like, yeah, that they are interested. They are locked in. They are very much, you know, watching. Like, have you ever seen a cat when you have my son's fiance has this cat named Kitty. She's so cute. She loves to play. She's an orange cat, and I got her this like fishing rod type thing with like a mouse with feathers at the end of it, and you drag it around like on the floor, and she watches it and she watches it. I mean, she is dialed in. She is focused on this thing, and then out of the clear blue, she'll like dive in there and like get the thing and go crazy with it, and then she'll let it go and she'll watch it again. That's this energy. That's what I'm feeling, is just this. I'm really watching. I'm deciding if I'm going to dive in. I'm deciding if I am. But it's like this person wants to be sure before they risk their ego or their pride or something here, which I don't think this is a bad thing. You know, we all have ego and pride. You know, it's when it's distorted, or when, you know, we're choosing fear. Because this person is totally willing to take the risk. They just want to make sure that the risk is not a fool's errand. You know what I'm saying? And I get that. I understand that. And actually, they're a king. So they have mastered their passion, their desire. You know, they're not someone who just like dives in full-hearted, like right upon seeing something they're interested in. They have mastered it. They know how to want something without attacking it immediately. But there is, you know, the Seven of Cups is a Neptunian, Piscean energy, and it's in their head. And it's like, I don't quite get it. I don't quite understand. This person isn't totally reacting exactly the way that I think they will. Their behavior isn't completely predictable to me. It's just giving me that. And it may be kind of messing with their head. And because with the Four of Wands here, it's like they want this bad. You know, they think that this could be the answer to their question, you know? But then there's this, that, you know, they may say something to you hoping to get a certain response that means something. And they may think you're going to respond yes or no. And you respond, you know, today is kind of a crazy day, and tomorrow, you know, like you respond with something that's like totally no, and they're like going over it and over it and over it again in their head going, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm getting. And it's creating this like confusion. And you know, there is such a vast difference between fire and water. I mean, they're pretty much opposites. And so there is something that is super intriguing about it that like keeps you really super interested in wanting to know more. And really, that's how you catch a fire sign. You know, fire signs, like if you're too easy to catch or you're too transparent, they're going to burn right through that so fast. And I think that's why a lot of Pisces, a lot of fire signs, I get a lot of Leo Pisces energy, a lot of Leos dealing with Pisces, a lot of Pisces dealing with Leos, and Aries, and not so much Sagittarius really, but a lot of Aries and Leo energy. And because you captivate them, you capture their imagination, you make them think, you make them wonder, you make them feel like they have to try to understand. It's a bit of a challenge. And you know, for someone who's very charismatic and is a smooth talker and is probably fairly attractive, you know, something that makes them go into a different gear is always going to be something that has a lot more longevity than something that is just like super obvious, right? But this person is trying to make a decision. I do think that they are wanting to come forward. I think that it's almost giving me this energy of taking a step forward and then 2 steps backward. For some of you, this person has already made up their mind and they have already showed up in your life, and you may already be dating this person and sort of laying the groundwork for a foundation. This person could even be thinking about a more serious long-term future. This could be some kind of commitment, like marriage, with the 4 of Wands, but it could also be like moving in together or something like that. And because I think this person really can see you in their future. But with the 7 of Cups there is also this aspect where it's like, I see the 7 of Cups as a good thing in a way of where it's really captivating their attention. But I also see it as a tricky thing because they don't understand it. So there's that. Wow, you guys are getting a ton of major arcana. This is a big time for you, Pisces. There is just no doubt about it. You guys are getting the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune, and Temperance on the bottom of the deck. And the Magician, this is that like Gemini, Mercury kind of energy. It is giving me a bit of communication, or a bit of, going back to this King of Wands, 7 of Cups energy. It's kind of like, which one of these keys is going to unlock the door? Do you know what I mean? They're not giving up by any stretch of the imagination, and they're not, getting frustrated or anything. They're still heavily in pursuit and in this, I'm not going to be stumped by this. Like, I'm going to figure this out, And it is giving me like, which one of these keys kind of unlocks the door? Is it the sword? Is it the pentacle? Is it the cup? Is it the wand? And it is sort of like, if I'm being totally honest, the energy that I'm getting is kind of like, well, I just heard they're trying to go where no man has gone before, but not really like that. But it's, how do I want to say this? The energy is, honestly, it's like they want to figure out what you need, or what you want, or what you're looking for, or what they can offer you that hasn't been offered to you before, or that is going to get them into the next realm with you. Yeah, it's like they want to be established. They want to have this sense of feeling like you can't or don't want to live without them. Like that you in some way kind of feel the same way about them that they do about you, is really what it boils down to. But they're making it they're not admitting that. They're not saying it that directly. What it is that, they're sort of focused on the mystery and the cat and mouse kind of situation. And so they're not thinking on a deeper, broader level. They're just trying to solve the puzzle. But there's also this recognition of you being like a high value person, that they have to kind of earn their way in, or they have to be able to provide something in this scenario that is of so much value that you would be willing to like let them in. part of me, Pisces, feels like you're a bit clueless about this. Like you don't realize what all is going on in this person's head. But I think a part of you intuitively sort of senses or knows something. You know what I mean? Like you may not, you know, it's one of those where it's like, yeah, I know there's something up there, but yeah, something is changing. You know, it's giving me investment energy. Let me clarify this. Okay, so, you know, this person is really investing a lot of time and a lot of their energy and a lot of their focus in you, Pisces, like trying to figure you out. Yeah. Yes, and trying to be the thing that you can't live without. Yeah, they want to transform the situation. I was getting a Scorpio kind of energy here a second ago. And that doesn't necessarily mean a Scorpio, but there is something that is trying to go deeper or establish, and it's almost subconscious, or it's almost like it's not, this person isn't really thinking this person is so focused on the cat and mouse portion of it that it's like they kind of don't realize that it's happening, which may be a bit scorpionic also. But you have the Emperor with the Magician, and this is just saying, it's like, which key unlocks what I want? You know, I want to be in control. I want to call the shots, and it feels right now like Pisces calls the shots, because I can't figure Pisces out. I can't figure out their equation, and it's because you don't have one. You know, that's what it's giving me. It's because you don't have one. There isn't a combination that opens the lock. It is more of showing up consistently. It is more of just making you feel safe to be yourself. It is, and this isn't disappointing to this person at all. When they figure it out, it is almost kind of reassuring in a way, because this makes them feel more secure. Like, okay, I can handle that. I can do that. I can bring that. I can, you know, this person is seriously enamored with you, Pisces. Like, really and truly, I don't think they've ever tried this hard. But what's happening is they are investing. All of this, trying all these locks in the key, and all of this energy that they're focusing on this, and this building desire within them to be the person that can be your person, you know? It's all like, it is transformative, and it is transformative in a way that, like, you don't see it on the surface level maybe so much, or like they're not seeing it on the surface level. Like, it's not cognizant. It's not like I'm thinking this. It's like, this is a result of what's happening. And then you have this Magician card clarifying the Wheel of Fortune, and that's really what I'm saying, is all this energy of trying to figure out how to unlock your heart, Pisces, is bringing about a major change in the relationship, because I think you're sensing this person's dedication to you, or their desire even to figure you out, or to unlock your heart. That in and of itself is kind of an endearing thing. And then for them, it is the investment that they're making in trying to figure it out. It just keeps giving me investment. Like, you're consuming so much of this person's life already. I mean, and for some of you, you may have kind of a relationship going. But for others of you, this is still a bit of a, I haven't fully admitted this, or you know what I mean, or I haven't come forward yet. With Temperance and the Death on the bottom, some of you, some of you may feel like it's too soon, or you're not ready, or you don't really necessarily desire this or this person or something like that. But this time and this consistency and this very like grounded energy around this is really bringing you to a place where it's becoming more and more attractive. It feels very solid. I will say that. You know, this isn't one of those things where it's like you're talking yourself into dating someone, or you're seeing a bunch of red flags and overlooking them. It's kind of the opposite. It's like you're seeing a lot of green flags, and a situation that you may have felt like you needed to kind of stay away from is now kind of coming to a place where you're like more and more interested in participating. There's also, because of the justice that we saw in the beginning, there's also this energy of balancing out where, you know, you have gone for the really charismatic, charming person that came in and tried to sweep you off your feet, or the thing that seemed really good or sounded really good but was never really open or available. And this is something that is truly showing up in real life and is consistent and is I don't know, it's like you're realizing, oh, wow, this is the other side. This is what that's like. It may not be that you're going weak in your knees and getting the butterflies every time this person talks to you, but it may be more like you are, it allows you to stay balanced and centered and grounded in your own energy, and also be a part of this connection. Like it's allowing you to have balance in a way that you haven't maybe even ever had balance in a relationship before. For some of you, you have not met this person yet. We have the Emperor and the Moon coming out together. And then we have the Hangman. So many major arcana in this reading. I kind of want to count. Here you're getting 2 of Pisces major arcanas. A lot of Aries energy also. You're getting the Emperor twice. Some of you, this person is going to be revealed, or this person was revealed to you as you're coming out of a period where, with the Hangman, this actually came out in reverse, but so like you're coming out of this period of time, you're releasing this energy where you have been looking back on the past and processing and, you know, coming to a place of peace and clarity and enlightenment about what happened back there, and about, you know, what the truth of it is and what you can learn from it and how you can take the best from it and move forward and let the rest go. And you have really found a sense of worth and stability and strength within yourself, and this sense of a lot of importance with who you are and what you want, versus kind of letting the world sort of be like, here's who you are, Pisces, and we're doing this, and if you want to be a part of it, come on along. You know, where now it feels like you're really like grounded in, this is what's important to me, this is who I am. Kind of even like taking on the characteristics of, you know, maybe you have seen other people do that and you're kind of emulating it and it's giving you strength. But there's a deepening of a level of it with you with this Queen of Pentacles energy where it's like it has become more and more important to you, not less. And so with the Emperor and the Moon, it's like you're meeting this person, or this is revealed to you as you kind of settle into this energy of knowing your worth, knowing your value, and knowing how important it is for you in your own life, in your own right, to maintain. That is so weird. That moon came out and I saw the Chariot. And I thought, oh, I got that because the moon is the ruling planet of Cancer, and that's why I thought Chariot. And then I hear the Chariot comes out, and it's like, it feels so weird. It feels like deja vu, kind of. So, yes, this is really beautiful and cool energy, Pisces, that you're finding yourself in, I feel like. Or that you did. For some of you, this is confirmation because this is the mood, this is the space that you were in when someone came into your life. But you're not looking for love, you're not chasing love, you're not hoping for some knight in shining armor to come rolling in. You don't need saved, you don't need rescued. You're really solid here with yourself. You're at peace. You are feeling really good about where you're at. And you're not chasing love. You're not, going, oh my gosh, I don't want to be alone, or I have to have commitment, or I have to find somebody, or anything like that. You're not letting any of those things really affect you. Those thoughts motivate you. You're really just like, if I stay in this energy, everything will come to me that is meant for me. If I stay in this energy, if I hold fast to this, then that's the key, that's the answer. Everything else will follow. And, this Seven of Wands energy, which can be an energy of blockage, came out in reverse with the Two of Wands upright. So it does feel to me that someone may be coming forward. We did have this Two of Wands on the bottom of the deck with this King of Wands energy, where it was like the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Wands were on the bottom of the deck. And it was like this person needs to make a decision, but they feel kind of iffy about it because it feels like they didn't truly know where you stood. They were having trouble reading you. And the thing is, it wasn't in a bad way. But here you see they're finally, whatever obstacle, whatever blockage, whatever existed that was making them kind of restrict themselves or hold back, they're busting through it. They're making the decision and they're coming forward. You got the Chariot on the bottom of the deck. So this is definitely something coming toward you, and it could be a potential life partner here with the Chariot. This is someone who really balances you out, someone who really makes things make sense. You've had justice, you've had temperance, and you've had the Chariot. This is a beautifully balanced situation. All of those cards really rely on balance as a key factor, a key element. And every time one of those cards has come out, I have felt, and I'm a Libra, like we understand balance if nothing else. And yeah, it feels really workable. Really, what is this word I'm looking for? Amicable? Not that. It's a word. Great. For some reason the letter A is coming and I'm getting amicable and amenable. That's not it. But it's something cohesive. And it's also saying to me, these two energies are better off together than they are apart. So this is someone who is bringing something solid and stable into your life. This is someone who can share your vision, Pisces, and your vision is their vision is your vision. It's not about, hey, join my vision and do my thing. It's like, oh, wow, we were actually on the same road separately as individuals going in the same direction, and we crossed paths, and now we've decided to walk the road together. So it isn't a matter of even needing to hold your own or to hold on to your sovereignty. It's a matter of, it's just easier to walk with someone. And this person lends a lot of strength and a lot of, I get a very warm and strong energy here. Oh my God. It's given me the, what is it? The golden retriever black cat thing over and over again. Oh, really? My granddog's dreaming. Okay, let me get you guys some message cards. This has a lot of potential for success and victory, and this can be a power couple. It is definitely someone who lightens your load and makes it easier for you to navigate rather than more difficult. If you are dealing with a water sign, you are the only one who truly gets me. I can't stop thinking of you and good intentions. Ooh, I love it. If you are dealing with a fire sign, you're getting, I am choosing you. It's hard for me to explain things. I don't want to miss my chance with you. I am working on myself. Ooh. Pisces, sometimes, you are such a mirror for other people that it may expose to them their own, oh, I got a chink in my armor here. Oh, I could be better off if I worked on this. If you're dealing with an earth sign, you are hard to forget, honest. You hit me out of nowhere. And if you're dealing with an air sign, I am making plans, anxious, and daydreaming. All right, Pisces, this is what I have for you. I really hope it helps. I hope it brings you some peace and some clarity. If it does, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I love to hear from you. Until next time, I send you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.